Hi, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today, your place for all the dirt. Thank you for watching. On today's show, we have Oriona Walker, Josh Taylor, and TJ Carter. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
All right, so you're looking to make a career decision that's crazy smart and won't break the bank. Then let's start with tuition guarantee and a home field advantage. That's Meridian Community College, and we're changing the game. We've got heavy metal drilling and saving lives. Or how about building a rover that could drive on Mars? We're more than grades in a classroom. We're your Red Bull monster shot of knowledge that will help you own that next job. This is not just the 13th year, it's the gateway to your entire career. Are you ready for more? Well, the eagle has landed. Find your wings.
Today we are lucky enough to have Mr. Josh Taylor, who is our media production coordinator here at Meridian Community College. And how long have you been doing that?
I think this is year 19, year 20, somewhere around. About as long as you have, Lowell.
Congratulations.
It's been a while, yeah.
We've been here a while.
Yeah.
And for someone who is here a lot, I don't have you on the show. I think, is this the first or second time I've had you on the show?
I think this is the first time with you.
Right.
I did it a few times with the previous host. Being the media coordinator, I kind of get a pass. I'm usually hanging out in the control room with the guys back there. Today I got suckered into sitting at the desk. So
this is what happens when you hang around.
That's right.
What does a media coordinator do?
Well, so obviously at MCC we have a lot of two-year associate degree programs. Mm-hmm. Our program in particular is media production technology. And what it was originally designed for was to train people that wanted to get into the television industry or the radio industry or really anything in the communications area. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our graduates through the years have gone on to work at local media. We've got a lot that are, if you're watching the show on TOK, we've got a lot of our graduates that are at TOK.
Yes.
A lot of the local radio stations, the voices you hear on the air, a lot of those are our graduates. And then even beyond that, I've got a graduate from a few years back that's now a news producer in Jackson. Mm-hmm. We've got one a little further back than that that's an Emmy award-winning producer at Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Wow.
So they just go all over the place. And what's happened now, because the industry's changing and continues to change, is we still do all the television and radio and a little bit of film even. We now incorporate a lot of live streaming and podcasting, because that's kind of where the media is going now.
Right.
So a lot of our sports we do on campus is live streamed, and the students help out with a lot of that. We do some podcast stuff with a few local entities, and the students help out with that as well. So it's basically to give them a general media skill set to get into the media industry. And like I said, it's exploding nowadays with everything. If you've got a decent cell phone and a tripod, you can hop on YouTube and you're in the media at that point.
But your group, you do a lot of hands-on. There's a huge amount
very
of hands-on with whatever y'all doing, because a lot of your students here are behind the scenes here.
Yeah, so like this show, we produce this show every week along with our college communications department and you.
Yes.
Our students do a lot to get this show on the air. We actually run the campus radio station, which is 106.9 The Eagle. And a lot of colleges have like low power nonprofit radio stations. Ours is a real deal FCC licensed full power station. We actually sell advertising, and the students are incorporated in that as well. So yeah, I think in the two-year program, I probably shouldn't say this on there. In the two-year program, we have one class that we would consider a book class.
Okay.
Where it's kind of reading and taking tests and listening to lectures. Just about every other class in our two-year program, other than your gen ed classes, are hands-on classes where we're either in the studio or out in the field and actually doing stuff.
For the two-year program, what kind of prerequisites do the students have to be able to get into the program?
There's not a lot. So we have some basic entry requirements. I can't tell you off the top of my head because it changes periodically, but there's a minimum ACT score we look for. If you don't have that, then you can take the AccuPlacer locally here on campus.
Yes.
And there's some minimum scores on that. And even beyond that, if you're just not a good test taker, then you can also, if you take a minimum amount of gen ed classes and keep your GPA up, then we can get you in that way too. So we've got a lot of options to get people in. If this, more than anything, if this is something people want to do, then we're going to find a way to get them in the program.
Now the two-year program here, you get an AA degree, but you were telling me that we actually have a new degree called the BAS degree.
Yeah, and this is really cool. So ours is an AAS degree, which
Okay.
is an Associate Applied Science. And years ago, our program in particular worked out an articulation agreement with MSU Meridian. So students could go 2 years with us in this program and then transfer to MSU Meridian and finish out with a bachelor's degree.
Right.
Well, now what the state's done recently is they've created this BAS degree, which is a Bachelor of Applied Science. And so now they've opened that up to a lot of these 2-year programs. So now a student can go 2 years with us and get their Associates of Applied Science in Media Production, and then all those credits transfer to senior colleges. And it's not just MSU Meridian; it's all of them.
Okay.
And they can go another 2 years and get a Bachelor of Applied Science degree, which is a big deal, because for years there was kind of this break between the two, and now with the BAS available, it's one more avenue that students can go and continue that education.
Now, your AAS degree, a 2-year AAS degree, what kind of jobs does that allow for?
It really varies, and with our industry, because we have some of our graduates that will go more of the freelance style.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll graduate and they're working for themselves right away.
Okay.
Doing projects for corporate media and even like wedding video stuff. There's a lot of money out there for that. And now I forgot the question.
What kind of job
Okay.
opportunities?
So a lot of ours, with the industry, kind of what we think about is the traditional industry. It is kind of a starting at the bottom thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of our graduates, they may start off while they're a student with us as an intern at one of the local TV stations or radio stations. And that would be like as a production assistant, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When they graduate, what I see them doing more often is they'll start off as news producers. We have some that go straight into that. We have some that'll go in as master control operators.
Now that's with the AAS degree.
Yeah, that's just the
Okay,
AAS degree.
okay.
And that's kind of what this degree was designed for. It's 2 years in and out. We're going to teach you the hands-on and get you in industry and working.
Okay.
And that's the goal behind it.
So what would the 4-year degree, what kind of
So-
possibilities does that open up?
And this is the fun thing with the BAS. So what happens occasionally, what I see with our industry, is the 2-year degree gets you those skill sets to get into the industry. Well, then for some people, if they're in the industry for, say, a decade, and they get to a certain point and they have risen up in that organization, there are some organizations that will say, well, we really like you to have a bachelor's degree so we can promote you up to this position.
Okay.
And that does come up occasionally, and so it's just one more avenue as just a career enhancement tool. And even for people that graduated our program 10 years ago, they can now, if they've been in the industry for a while, they can come back and now get that BAS degree as well, and it opens up more avenues. And that's really what that comes down to, is just career advancement long term.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad idea to have it.
Okay. Now, in addition, we have this show that we do, and I know I'm a hot commodity
Yeah.
here with
Yes.
I know without me.
We had auditions, and this was the cream of the crop.
I
right
was
here.
the cream of the crop. So they do this show, and I know they do behind the scenes with that. But we also have the radio, because I
Yeah.
do a radio show with Dr. Laura Lewis.
Yeah.
It is Your Health with Dr. Laura Lewis.
Yeah, and so-
Lowell.
And with the radio
I still don't
station,
know why I'm in there, but okay.
the students and with this COVID stuff, it's such a just weird semester. But honestly, I've been impressed with our MCC family. This is off topic, but just from day one, how they've just said, we'll figure it out and we'll do it.
Yes.
But with the radio station, the students do some live shifts on there, and then on Tuesdays at 5, we do our weekly health show.
Yes.
Dr. Laura and Lowell, which we're starting back up this week.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
exciting too. So we try to get a little local flavor on there.
Any other things coming up that you think of that we'll be doing, either on the radio or
That's
broadcasting?
the main stuff,
or-
and the big thing with our program is just with COVID, like we're not shutting down, we're moving forward. We're resilient at MCC and everywhere, really. We're going to figure it out and we're going to move forward. And with our program in particular, we've now got some resources where the students can access some of their creative software at home, which opens up to, let's keep going, let's keep doing this thing. So we're in pretty good shape right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm so glad that you came on the show today.
Thank you.
And you were a lifesaver.
Yeah. And I get to, it's been a while. I get to see you.
There you go. I mean, enough said.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate it, and I do want you to come back and let's talk about other things that are happening both on television and the radio.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Become essential at Meridian Community College. Our community is changing, and at MCC, we are built for those who want to serve. Being essential has kept our community going. You can become that here, all at an affordable cost. Whether you dream of helping people through healthcare services or want to transport goods, connecting people with the products they need, we have many unique opportunities to help you find your purpose. Don't wait for change. Be the difference and register today. Become essential at Meridian Community College.
All right, we have Mr. Oriona Walker today, who is the adult education instructor here, one of the adult education instructors here at Meridian Community College.
Yes,
and
sir.
you primarily teach, or your program is, we say, across the street from the main campus.
Yes, sir.
In the Ralph E. Young Jr. Center for Adult Education.
Yes.
So how does someone, now we've always said GED, but it's
Yes.
high school equivalency.
Yes.
If for some reason someone has dropped out, or that they can come and get the equivalent to a high school diploma.
That's right.
Okay. How does that work over at in your area?
Basically, what we do, we have them come in and we do a registration. They fill out a little paperwork, and we have to give them an assessment to kind of see where they are. We try to meet the student where they are. So that means if they're literacy level, or if they're just about ready, or they may have made it to the end of high school. But we try to meet them where they are. We give them an assessment, and we let them know this is an assessment.
Right.
You know, most people see a test on the first day and it kind of freaks them out, but we let
Sure.
them know this is just about seeing where you are.
Sure.
And then from there, once we know their level, we can get them into class with people that are grouped on the same level that they are, and then try to help them to progress through the high school equivalency program, and also, then try to get them to get that high school equivalency.
Does the test cost anything?
It does, but the way we have it set up is if they come in, like I said, and become one of our students, once they get to a certain level, what we like to do is we like to give them a practice test.
Okay.
And with those practice tests, they usually kind of let us know if they're really, really ready to start taking the actual test. And with that, if they perform well enough on the practice test, we will pay for the actual test.
Excellent. Okay.
So they can go to class for free, and then they can also test for free.
How many hours per day or days per week are there classes that they can go to?
We have several classes. We have morning classes that usually run from like 8:30 to 11:30,
Okay.
Monday through Thursday. And then with the afternoon, we have afternoon classes from Monday through Thursday, also from like 1 to 4. And we have an evening class that runs from 4:30 to 8:30, Mondays and Wednesdays.
Now, do you have to stick with one class, like if you're only mornings or only afternoons or only evenings?
We prefer for them to stick with a particular time, but we are always willing to work with a student. For example, you may start in the morning time, but your job is giving you fits about coming in the morning. You get with your instructor and say, hey, I'm having a problem making it in the morning. Is it any kind of way I can change to afternoons or evening time? And usually we communicate with other instructors and say, hey, I have this individual that needs to transfer to nights. Can you take them? Oh yeah, no problem. So we usually do our best to try to accommodate our students if they need to change.
Now, when they're in class from say 8:30 to 11:30, they're not just on one particular subject. They're on like multiple subjects, right?
Yes.
Because don't you test? Isn't it the equivalency? You're testing 4 subject areas. Am I correct in that, or has that changed?
Well, with the GED, that's how they've they have it now, where you have the math, science, social studies, and what they call the RLA, the reasoning through language arts,
Okay.
which is like a combination of the reading and the language, the grammar, and the writing. With the high set, another one of our high school equivalencies, it is kind of like the old GED, where it has 5 parts: your reading, science, social studies, reading, and writing.
Okay. Now, do you have? Can the students start at any time?
We have a registration every week,
Okay.
every Friday at 9 o'clock over at the Ralph E. Young building. We encourage students to try to get there early because we do have a limit to the number of students that we can take at this time.
Okay.
So we have them come in and we can do registrations every Friday. And
But
then
every
from
Friday, so if someone is listening and they want to
Yes.
start their GED process, their high school equivalency process,
Yes.
they can just pick a Friday, give you a call, or
they
come by.
They can give us a call, or they can come on by. They can just show up, bring their ID, and
Okay.
be prepared to stay a couple of hours because
Because you're going to do that testing.
That's right, and
Okay.
a little bit of paperwork.
Now, what's the telephone number for them to call you?
Our number across the street is 601-484-8796.
Okay. Now, how long? And I know this is a difficult question because they can start any Friday, but you never know exactly how long it's going to take before they're ready to take the test for the high school equivalency.
That is true.
Right.
Some people come in with the expectation that I'm just gonna come in a few days, a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna be ready. To be honest, there are some students that, hey, they can do that. But for the majority of students, it's a process. It's a lengthy process. It's going to take some time. It's some things that they missed in high school that we're going to have to actually teach them. There are some things that they knew, but they forgot, so we'll have to refresh them on that. So for most individuals, it may take a while. It may not be as quick as they think.
And I know you've had students of all ages.
Yes.
So this is not just something for young people if they happen to miss out, or when you hit your 20s or 30s. But I know of students who've returned in their 40s and 50s and said, hey, I'd like to get my high school equivalency.
Yes, they come back for various reasons. Sometimes they may have been on a job for 20 years or so, and the job comes to them and say, hey, you need your high school equivalency now. So they have to come back, or they may know that if they get it, they can get a promotion, so they'll come back. Some just want to just get the knowledge that they may need to help their kids with their homework. So people come back for various reasons at various ages.
And we actually have a graduation for our students who
That's right.
complete the high school equivalency, don't we? Is it once a year or twice a year that we do this?
It's currently once a year.
Okay.
We usually try to have it around January or February.
Okay. Has it changed anything substantially? I know it's changed everything, but has it changed anything as far as how you're doing things right now?
Yes. When we bring students in, we ask them the questions at the door. We make sure they wash their hands. Also, we have a lot of hand sanitizer around. We have wipes and stuff to make sure they can clean down the area. Practice social distancing. Everybody wears a mask. So
we're as safe as we can possibly be.
Yes.
And you're still learning.
That's right.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being on today. Would you give that number once again?
Sure.
For if anyone's interested, you said they could call any Friday and come up any Friday to register.
Yes.
So what is that telephone number?
The number is 601-484-8796. And also we have an email address, adulteducation@meridiancc.edu.
And this is a great way to start.
That's
and
right.
hopefully, once they get their high school equivalency, they can continue, on the main
That's right.
campus.
And I always tell students with the high school equivalency, it is a start.
It is a start.
It's not an end, because we want to take them from there and hopefully help them come across the street, pick up a trade, or 2 years here, and then move on to somewhere else.
Thank you so much. I'd love to have you on again to talk about this some more.
No problem.
Okay,
Appreciate
we'll be
you.
right back.
Are you searching for something new? Then Meridian Community College is the place for you. With over 52 career and technical pathways, you can move straight into the workforce in 2 years or less. Get hands-on experience in welding and electrical technology, or go digital in graphic design and media production. You'll discover many opportunities for a new career at a fraction of the cost. Reskill now. Become essential at Meridian Community College. Register today at meridiancc.edu.
We have Mr. TJ Carter, who is our new tennis coach here at Meridian Community College. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you said you've been here 2 months now?
A little under 2 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How's the transition going?
It's been good. It's been good. I was lucky enough at my last few stops to, it's been quick for me to get my feet on the ground. It was more learning the administration side over here. So it's been good, been going.
Now you are in charge of both men's and women's tennis.
Yes.
Now how many students do you typically, or how many students do you have right now?
So 14 right now.
Okay.
And it could range anywhere from that number to about 20.
Okay. So 14, that's both men's and
Both
women's.
men's and women. Yep.
Okay.
8 men, 6 women.
Okay. Now how at the moment, how are y'all practicing?
So at
Because
the
we're
moment,
COVID, we're in the middle of COVID stuff.
Right. So at the moment, we haven't even started our official practice. So
Okay.
some of the rules have changed. So September 8th, right after Labor Day, we'll start our official practice. So right now, it's just a lot of conditioning. So we got physicals last Friday, and so I just split them with COVID to keep it small. And I normally like to split it anyway, but we go women and men separate. And then right now, it's a lot of running on the track. So I know they're loving it. So.
Well, when will the matches? When will we be able to start having matches?
Yeah, so we were able to have 4 scrimmage dates this fall.
Okay.
So we're playing a lot of double headers. I only have 3 dates so far, but September 25th is our first one. We're going to East Central to play East Central and Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Okay.
Yes.
I for some reason, I don't know why I was thinking that everything had been shifted to the spring, but I'm glad that tennis is not.
Yeah, luckily we were one of those sports they have deemed pretty safe. So as long as things keep going the way they're going, I feel confident we'll get to play some this semester.
Now, in addition to your, of course, having good tennis skills, what do you look for when you look for these athletes?
Yeah, that's a great question. So actually when I came in, I actually listed out, I have a mission statement for our tennis program, our core values, and then I have personal values that I look for, and it's I want someone who's coachable, humble, committed, resilient, and trustworthy. Those are the 5 things I really look for, because you can teach, like you said, I can teach you tennis skills, but I can't teach you values. So I look for those values that line up with our tennis program, because those kids who have that coming in are going to be very successful in the things that we do and how we run things in our tennis program.
Well, and I'm always impressed with the coaches who come on, because we talk so much about, being the athletes, but there's also the scholar part of it, where, yes, being an athlete in this part is important, but also the education part is important. How do you ensure that your students are doing well in their studies?
Yeah, so we'd have study hall once a week. It started yesterday, and I split them there too. Part of COVID, keeping it small.
Okay.
But the library has been gracious enough to let us get in there. So we have study hall once a week. We have the Success Center, which I believe you're in charge of.
I'm in charge of,
so
yes.
With the tutors that can help them in their classes. And then I check their grades every time at study hall, and I tell them that we never want to get it to a point where we're behind, because luckily we have a good history of good academics through the tennis program. We had, this past year, I believe we had 7 ITA academic All-Americans, 8 All-State academic team members, and they actually give an award at the end of the year for the highest, the ITA, which is who governs our college tennis, they give an award for highest GPA. So I told them night 1 in that meeting, we're striving for excellence everywhere. So academically, I want to be that team that's number 1 at the end of the year with that GPA. But it's just staying on top of them week by week, making sure, if we got to get them to the Success Lab, if we need to get extra study hall hours, we get it done, so that they can be successful moving out of here to a 4-year program.
Now, are parents super involved, if you don't mind me asking?
Not really, not really. We have good support. Parents show up. They'll bring snacks and food, which is great.
We're always good.
Yeah, and support. But yeah, besides like support and bringing that's about as involved as they get. But
now you're talking about the values that you want your students to have, because and I don't mean this in a bad way, but so many students, they're in tennis or they're in some of these athletics, they're more than likely not going to go on with the athletics, right? So but I'm sure you have some that's like, I do plan to stay with tennis. I want to try to make a career out of this. But for the most part, what's the percentage? Do you know? I mean, is there?
It is pretty low. I would say, especially on the women's side, there's a lot that they get their 2 years here and they're ready to go to Mississippi State or Ole Miss and just kind of have their college experience. So I'd say it's low, but that is why it's so key to instill those values, because right out the gate, we want you to be an impact in your community or in your career, wherever you are. So that's.
And a lot of the values that they have, that they learn as athletes, they can
Carry
take those
over.
and go wherever they're going.
Right.
Now, with what are some of the plans that you hope to have? You're here 2 months. You're kind of getting the feel of the place.
Right.
So, anything that you can foresee in the next few months or years that you'd like to accomplish?
Yeah, I would. Obviously, I played here in 2012 to 14 under Coach McPhail, and so sitting in that
Love
office
Coach
every day,
McPhail.
yeah, she was such a great lady, and she's been
And
pivotal.
you did not
in-
get away with anything
right
with Coach McPhail.
Right, she was always on top of you. But sitting in that office and seeing all those plaques, obviously, one day when we're building a new tennis facility, so that's something that's in the works. That new office, I would love to have plaques of my own in there. But so I see us doing well there. I think we're going to recruit. I think I can recruit well, get us back competing for regional and state championships. But then, like we've talked about, I want to have good alumni events where kids are showing up and they're telling me, they're a doctor, they're a lawyer, they're a teacher, they've reached their goals, and so that's what I really look forward to is 5-10 years down the road. Kids that came here bought into the values and the mission statement that I've presented in it, and you can see it pay off.
If anybody is watching and they're interested and they're like, I can play tennis, maybe I can come and join. Can they still join? Are you still looking for, or do you have, this is your group right now?
No, yeah, we're always looking for players. So if you're a local player or maybe you're watching and you're in the state, you can email me at tcarter5@meridiancc.edu, and we'll have you come out and take a look and see if it'll be a good fit.
Okay. Now, do you only do that in the fall, or do you also?
No, we could do that in the spring as well.
So anytime. If someone thinks that they
Yeah.
have the skills and they have the character that you're looking for,
Yeah.
they can just email you and get started with the process.
Right.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for being here today. You've been here a couple of months. I want to get you back after you've been here a little while longer and see how things are going. But it sounds like things are going very well.
Yeah, I'd love to come back on, so look forward to it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
With so much uncertainty in our world, we are thankful for the heart and determination of those who have followed their calling in healthcare. They work tirelessly on the front lines every day to make a true difference in our community. At Meridian Community College, we take pride in training these heroes and are grateful for their service in this time of great need. These Eagles found their wings at Meridian Community College.
We thank you for watching today's show. On behalf of executive producer Matt Milner, media consultant Josh Taylor, and student producer Josiah Goss, hope you have a really great day. Listen, I had another dream. I was in a skating rink and people surrounded me and threw little pickles. I'm starting to worry about myself.